Hey everyone, welcome to Damage Scaling YouTube channel. I'm your host Eddie Wang, and you guys are probably wondering why is Eddie Wang booting up a dead game? You should be playing MK11, not MKXL, blah blah blah, blah. Well, my community in general doesn't really like MK11, and we still have people playing Mortal Kombat XL. And as more people stop playing MK11 and playing MKXL, so most of us will going to play MKXL in general. This doesn't mean that we will stop playing Mortal Kombat 11. We are still playing Mortal Kombat 11, but we are also playing this game because this is a lot more fun, to be honest, and this game has a lot of depth. The variations are truly variations. They are distinct from one another, and not everyone in this game is Reptile. So you guys are probably what the jokes, right? Because in MK11, what they did to Reptile in this game is what they did to every single character in the game. They have some really shitty basic moves and then variations that they add a few things here and there, but not here. Here the variations are extremely distinct and they are really well thought out per se. You are really having the 3 times the experience of the character. But I'm not here to talk about MK11 at all, despite the quality of life changes that the game had, like input time window adjustment, so you don't have to wake up with specials when you try to wake up with a command normal. This is something that happens a lot in this game. There is also a better training mode, in-game frame data calculations that happens that you can see. This is something that MKXL doesn't have, but this game in general has a lot more depth, a lot more combos, a lot more creativity inspired. So this is the last true representation of Mortal Kombat. There is a middle that you have to manage, and you don't have to spam like X-rays or like they are called now fatal blows every now and then. You don't have a bunch of invincibility frames on wake up, and despite the crazy game of 50-50 mix-ups, this is still an amazing game, and it's still going to be because it's here to stay. So I'm here to talk about Rai Cho today because this is a variation that I did enjoy a lot on the launch, but I wasn't really into it because NetherRealm didn't really touch this variation until the ending, the game life cycle ends. This is a variation that they didn't touch. I kept saying that this variation sucks, and some people kept saying that this variation was good, but it was trash. But the time people find out that the variation was really bad, it was already too late. So I'm going to show you why this is an amazing variation. It is something NetherRealm should keep and make this like a legacy character, at least in this variation, Drunken Master. This should be main Rai Cho because the formula that they have for this character worked, let's say 90%. The 10% is of course the flaw that makes this character bad, but if you scratch out that flaw, this is an amazing character and is one of the most amazing characters that NetherRealm ever designed. That's because he has so many things going for him that is literally like built for astrophysics players, people that like to grind, people that like to investigate, people that like to understand tools, and he has so many of them. It's almost like a never-ending toy. But he also has a disappointment wall, and sadly they work in hand, and it's what makes this character almost unplayable. So I'm going to give a breakdown to Rai Cho first, to the stuff that worked, and then we are going to the disappointment stuff. So he is a character that is slow. He has these moves are quick, but they are all highs. But when you start to go mids or lows is where Rai Cho is going to be slow. When you go for mids, slows and overheads is where Rai Cho is going to get slow. The only fast overhead that he has is monkey flips, And he also doesn't have, literally doesn't have a safe special outside of the fart in general. The fart sorry, this is disgusting. The fart is +1 on block, and the EX fart, this is how we used to call it, it's -2 on block, but it sits on the ground on the screen for a while, so you get to do whatever, take care of your business while the smell is out there doing things that keeps them from approaching you because of the smell, because it sits on the ground for the longest at the frames possible. And this is +1 in neutral, but you can knock down your opponent, and then you do like, you cancel this with a fart, and it's +1. But if they wake up into a fart, then it's a lot more plus than +1. I don't know exactly how much, but this is disgusting. Sorry. But then he has, like, for example, since it doesn't really have safe specials, right? This is all Rai Cho is. This is unsafe. This is unsafe. This is a string that has mid-lows in it. He also has one that has overhead, but all this is unsafe. All these specials, this is unsafe as well. This is also unsafe. This is really a not safe special. And when you start to drink is where this character should actually shine, but he has also a huge problem. So I'm gonna tackle the good things first again, so you guys get to see. So for example, this throw, right, does 12% damage, but you can cancel the throw with a drink. Now Rai Cho is drunk. You guys are seeing Rai Cho is drunk. So he also has this, and this is a tick throw, right, that he has for this command, and you can cancel this into a drink, and now Rai Cho is drunk. He also has from this string, which he can also cancel into a drink, and now Rai Cho is drunk. He also has a stomp special, this right here, which he can cancel into a drink, but it's slow, and now Rai Cho, as you guys are seeing, is drunk. He can also has a belly bash that you can EX, and he's gonna sit and fart on your face, and you can cancel this into a drink, and now Rai Cho is drunk. Alright, so these are things that Rai Cho gets to cancel into a drink. He also has this right here, which he can also cancel into a drink, and now he is drunk. So why are these important? Because you will have to drink at some point if you are using Drunken Master, because when you get to level 1 drink, Rai Cho gets access to new things that he can do. For example, he can now go into a meditation stance, and this stance is going to avoid projectiles. He's going to avoid projectiles while at it, and also while at it, if you EX the meditation, he has invincibility frames on startup, so it doesn't really let people touching him while applying pressure because he is this drunk. Let's say I do this. As you guys can see, he gets to avoid kicks and stuff that usually would actually hit him by just doing a EX meditation stance. So this is why drinking is important, but this isn't the only thing that drink gives. On level 1, he also gives you these 2 punches right here, which you can also cancel into a drink. It also gives you access to on meditate, it gives access to a launch, of course, gives access to rolls. You can avoid projectiles while doing it, and this stance is also safe, so you can do this and run away from your character even if they block. This is what is gonna start make Rai Cho really amazing. So you can do this and drink again, you can do this and go for like whatever you feel like. And also while he is drunk, on level 2 he gets new punch, which is a third one, which you can also drink, and then he gets this one, which he can also drink. Also in level 2 he can use this right here to end combos with, or on block strings, and you can drink by the end of like this string. Sorry, level 2. So you can do this. There you go. So he drinks. And in level 3 I already showed you, right, that he gets an additional punch where he can also drink. So this is everything that he's going to get, and of course he also gets the sumo headbutt, right, which is Honda also has this, and this is going to go over projectiles, and it's going to prevent people to use projectiles on you, because then he gets to be close, and this one doesn't really do justice to it in general, but this one is much better. But then here comes the flaw, and the flaw is the following: the game only allows you to stay drunk for 10 seconds, and after that you're gonna puke. So it's a gimmick character, sadly, because there is so much tech that you can do while you are drunk, but the game only allows you to stay drunk for 10 seconds. And this is a crazy game that has crazy mix-up options, crazy overheads, and to a point it also had some really crazy zoning, and Rai Cho is a character that is susceptible to zoning, so he struggles when people are firing projectiles at him. The ways he gets to keep people like to keep himself drunk are very cost to him, because the time never stops, and at some point in animation when it is almost like 10 seconds up, then whatever he is doing is gonna stop and he's going to puke. Sadly, that is just how he is, and this is what makes this character like really bad, because he can stop at middle, as you guys can see, and he's already pooped. So if I delay this as much as possible, it's really going to stop mid animation and do what, like for example, he's going to stop mid animation of what he is doing and start poking in between. This is what is going to make Rai Cho really bad. So I'm going to show you right real quick. I really missed the window, so it's almost 10 because this takes at least a second. See, so it doesn't even let you finish the moves that you do, so you get to prolong the drink. So this is something that they added, and it's really bad because this character had so much things going for him, but instead of you worrying about playing against your opponent, you're gonna have to worry about drinking, sadly. So it limits you to have to drink all the time when you drink. Of course, there are ways that they could make this more accessible. For example, they should allow him to stack 30 seconds. So if you drink 3 times, you stack 30 seconds, but instead he only stacks 10. And if you did a chug, for example, he could stack 10 seconds, then you had to continue to drink to get the additional 20 seconds, right? This will be fine because it's half a minute and is enough to play Rai Cho at some point. Let's say when he is on level 1, since this is no longer an option, he should be able at least to transition into drink, and while on meditate he should be also allowed to drink, something that he doesn't do. And when in level 1, this should at least transition into meditate. It doesn't have anything else that transitions into meditate outside of like strings into specials. So that is the main problem of Rai Cho. So that is the main problem of Rai Cho. But still, this is a really good effort. I think this represents the character pretty well. It's just that this is really disgusting, and this puke doesn't really do anything, but it's really just disgusting. For example, this could be a way to kill the puke that he has in the drinking mechanic, right? But it doesn't have this. There is a lot of things that this character doesn't have, but still, that is not the point. The idea is that I really hope that when NetherRealm decides to look around in the sandbox, they look at Drunken Master Rai Cho and they keep him as he is, and the only thing they really take out is the drink puke mechanic, because the drink can stay but the puke has to go. It doesn't really need to puke like to be a good character, but the fart also needs to go. They need to replace this with something else. But the idea is, if he is drunk, when the drink timing ends, it should be that's it. The drink timing has ended. He loses a lot of buffs because he has to install this move. He loses buffs, he loses save specials and stuff when he drinks. So it would be okay if they it really didn't just lose like all the bad stuff that he had. That would make interesting. But if you are really looking forward to play this character, know that when you, for example, you do this, this is how you should play Rai Cho, right? And you have to stay drunk at all the time. So when you fail to do this, you're gonna have to fart and drink so you can go back to charge. That is pretty much the way that you get to remain yourself drunk or puke safely, but you won't always be able to do that because that are very specific situations. Because the sexy stance is safe, so he gets to use the sexy stance to remain safe and do whatever it is that he pleases. But the thing is, the puke mechanic, it's really what ruined this character, and it's really sad that the life cycle of this game ended and they didn't really touch the puke mechanic. They didn't expand at least 30 seconds per drink, so he would be allowed to stack 30 seconds. That would be great. That would make amazing. It doesn't really need to stack like now for example, let's say if the seconds start to counting right now, now I have 20 and now I have 30, right? So if I'm about like my seconds are about to go up and I drink, instead of 10, it should have that additional time that he left until like I drink again and get like to 30 seconds. So now I get to play the game for 30 seconds instead of 10. That would be great, but it's something that sadly they came out with this 10 seconds idea. I don't know whose suggestion was this, but it was a pretty bad one. But this is easily one of the most creative characters NetherRealm Studios ever did, and he has so much to explore, and sadly the puke doesn't really help. But still, it's a character that I did enjoy, and I do enjoy Rai Cho a lot, specifically in this variation. I think he is still an amazing character, but what I do is I only drink when I know that I can win with the next mix-up option. But there is some things that I'm really willing to try on, because I don't really care much about the drinking, because his basic variation is pretty good. He has like really fast low, he has really crazy mids and stuff. He has like when he gets to do this, right? In this, while it's not safe, but the pushback is insane, and if your opponent tries to approach, then you have the EX meditation stuff going for and stuff like that. So really hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is going to be it for today, and we expect to come back in the future with more Mortal Kombat 11 or Mortal Kombat XL stuff, depending on the mood of the day. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. and see you guys on the next video.